In this video, we're going to be going over and deep diving the one thing that really helped transform my eBay reselling business. We're going to be going over that in detail. And if you're new to the channel, we do these lives every week, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we do deep dives into people's stores where we can give them more kind of tips and strategies to help better optimize their store. So that's what we do here every week, where we do free eBay store reviews. But I want to touch on what understanding the market in learning about what market you're selling in as a reseller and how that plays such a big importance when you're continuing to look to grow your business. So we're going to look into a little research that ThreadUp did this past year on kind of where the resale market is headed and just kind of figuring out what the market is trending and how we can capitalize on that as resellers. It is so important to understand the market, because if you're not understanding the market, then how do you know which direction to grow your business? So let's look at that real quick. And if you want a free eBay store review, just drop it in the comments section and we will add it to the list. But let's check this out. This kind of just is mind-blowing, because if you think that the resale market is saturated now, or you think that there's too many resellers now, just wait until 2027, because according to ThreadUp, by 2027, this resale market here is supposed to double. The market cap is supposed to double, meaning that more and more people are going to be buying secondhand and used goods. So this is a really good quality review. They spent a lot of time and money doing this research. So just going over it, just looking at it. So global secondhand market set to nearly double by 2027. Do you know what that does for resellers like us right now continuing to build our business? So this is such a beautiful thing. It says the global secondhand apparel market is expected to grow 3 times faster on average than the global apparel market overall. So seeing a lot of money shift from the retail, big box stores to the little guys, to the small businesses, to the resellers, people like us. So you could see here that it's been on a steady uptrend since 2021. You saw $138 billion in 2021, and that jumped 28% just 1 year in 2022. So it says by 2024, 10% of the global apparel market is expected to be made up of secondhand apparel. So it is so important to position yourself now, to build that business now, so you could take advantage of what is to come in the future. More and more people are coming online. More and more people are shopping online. And as more resellers come into this market, it's very important to give yourself that competitive advantage to really master and level up your skills right now, so you can put in that work to set yourself up for success when this influx of money comes into this system. So just looking at it briefly a little bit more, I just want to give you better understanding and more clarity on where we are headed as a reseller. It's so important to figure out how the market is trending so we can capitalize on these trends. So US secondhand market expected to reach $70 billion by 2027. So the U.S. secondhand market maintains a strong growth trajectory, demonstrating its staying power. You could see a continual uptrend since 2017. More and more people are, not wanting to break the bank for buying a St. John's Bay t-shirt for $44 off Amazon. They want to buy it from you for $6 off eBay. So that's the thing, is like, people are having less disposable income to go to these big retail box stores and spend $89 on a Banana Republic t-shirt. They'd rather get that on eBay or some other secondhand market for far less money. So, you could check out this report. I'll drop it down linked below, but it's several pages. It goes way more in detail on kind of who is the clientele that's going to be shopping secondhand. You can see 83% of Gen Z have shopped or are open to shopping secondhand apparel. Gen Z is the biggest demographic in America. So if you are able to capitalize on what is trending on their side, you're going to be able to have a not more just setting yourself up more for success, because you're able to now know, trending keywords. What is the lingo that Gen Z is using? What is the trending apparel that they're wearing? You're going to be able to see, kind of be ahead of the trend, so you can start planning now, so you can start capitalizing on it. But yeah, really good. Amazing. So, online resale is the fastest growing sector of the US secondhand market. I will repeat that again. Online resale is the fastest growing sector of secondhand market. Online resale is expected to reach 38 billion by 2027, growing 2 times faster than the secondhand market overall. And Gen Z is driving online growth, resale growth. So, very important to understand the market. It's going to give you some insight into how you could build your business now, the things that you can learn now and start implementing now to prepare for what. Sorry, Starlink, Elon, please help the internet. So, just setting yourself up for success is going to be key, because as more resellers come into the market, that's going to be more competition, right? Mastering the product that you're selling is going to be key. So, I'll drop that linked below, but let's get into the eBay store reviews. We had a few from last week that we didn't get to. The first one up is Fair in Share eBay store. I hope you're here. If not, I hope you catch us on the replay. But so far, just from the looks of it, you have nice branding going on, a nice banner. You have 2,800 items. That is not a joke. You are serious. You have items up and you're looking to get better. You have 571 items sold, 100% feedback. So, first thing off the bat is that your photos seem a little bit on the darker side. So, I would suggest getting another light source on your photos. You don't need to spend $500 on a lighting setup. Just go and add a simple bulb from Home Depot. Just add more light to your photos, because they seem a little side, but I like how they're cropped in, they're straight and correct. Nothing's cut off in the pictures, so that's really nice. Looks like you're selling a little bit of everything. You have a guitar, you have some piano instructions, you have a Wonder Woman doll, so you have a little bit of everything, but that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. We all start off as everything sellers. So with 2,800 items, we'd ideally like to see, we would love 28 sales a day. So that 1% rule of selling 1% through your store every day is going to give you a little bit more insight into how you're structuring your titles, how you're pricing your items. If you're able to sell 1% of your store every day, that's going to give you a good indication on, okay, my titles are being found in search. My prices are being competitive to what the market's telling me, and that's how you're able to kind of get some clarity on your pricing and your titles, and what you're doing is correct, so you can continue building that foundation of your business. So let's look at their solds and see what they are selling. 2,800 items. Let's see. So today, you hadn't had a sale in 2 days, but on the 12th you sold 1, 2. On the 11th you sold 1, 2, 3. On the 10th you sold 1, 2. And then on the 9th you didn't have a sale. Looks like sales are kind of mix and match. This has a lot to do with your listing habit. So what is your listing habit? I don't know if you're listing every day or if you took a little break, but that is definitely going to make it harder for you to get consistent sales every day, especially with the 2,800 item store. You would love to see consistent sales every day. So there's going to be something you're going to need to do, whether you continue on with a listing habit or you look to kind of fix your pricing and work on your titles. So the one thing that really made the shift for me, and I'll touch on that right now, and you probably already know my titles. That one thing literally helped me explode my eBay store. Because before, when I didn't know what I was doing back 2.5 years ago, I was just writing titles like any way, just copying, selling similar, and just copying, pasting what that seller had as my title. But little did I know that eBay's algorithm is specifically designed for search. And if you're not structuring your titles, how buyers are searching for those items, how the common buyer is searching for those items, then it's going to be harder for your items to be found in search, thus having slow sales. So that's why we focus on titles here. We focus on the basics, and I'm here to help you better optimize your store so you can get more sales. Fixing title structure can be easy. You can take a couple of your oldest listings every day and start editing them in your bulk editor and start structuring your titles for clothing for brand, item, gender, size. Getting it in that structure followed with keywords is really going to make the difference. Let's just take a look at some of your clothing listings so we can see how we can best optimize them a little bit better. You have vintage, Versace, women's, size 40. I think your keywords are good. I would not put W/padded shoulders. I would just put padded shoulders. I would not put W/. That is not searchable. No one's searching that. So you got a picture of the tag. You have measurements. That's beautiful. I think just the photos could use a touch of light, a little more light in there so you could see it a little bit better. Price, that might be a little high. I'm not familiar with this brand, but $7 shipping, $35, 30-day free, 30-day returns. So very good. Shipping price looks good. So size 40. Let's see. Your item specifics look good. And I would just work on, developing some kind of item description, something a little bit better. For example, my item description is like this, and you could take a look. You're going to want to keep it simple. I use bullet points in mine right here. If my item has a stain, I'll reiterate that in the condition description as well and in the item description. And then I just have some simple eBay policy right here, how I clean my items, how they're stored, what kind of shipping policy I use, combined shipping discount for multiple orders, and whatnot. So it's going to be better than putting just copy pasting the title in your description. At least state something about your shipping policy, or you ship next day, or you offer free returns. How's the item stored? How are they cleaned? And then creating that as a template so you could just have that available at all times. It looks like you might be listing from the phone because I don't see any condition description and it just says pre-owned. Usually that's an indicator that the person is listing from the phone. Look at Bonnie and Bill by Holly, women's, small, black, white. Okay, so first thing is that your titles do need work. They seem to be a little bit everywhere. You want to structure it brand, item, gender, size. Brand, item, gender, size. So we're going to start with the brand first, always, on anything, on eBay, in any category, the brand. And then the item. What is the item? Is it a shirt, a sweater, pants, jeans? What are we working with? So the item. The most broad term for that item. I know some people put top or blouse. I use shirt. So we're going to stick with the item second, gender third, and then the size fourth. After the size is when I like to put all the accurate trending keywords that are going to describe my item. So this is key. You do, if you want to start getting more sales right now, fair and share, start working with your oldest listings first and start structuring your titles brand, item, gender, size. It's really going to be helpful for you because right here, for example, you have Bonnie and Bill by Holly's women's S black white V-shaped fringe 3/4 sleeve sweater. So you have the most crucial element, one of the most crucial elements to your item being found, sweater, as the last keyword. So you want to put that up here, Bonnie and Bill by Holly sweater. Women's, and you want to spell out small, and you don't want to use any forward slashes, any hyphens, nothing. So that's going to take some time because you do have 2,800 items. You have white stag women's medium blue striped long sleeve collared button up shirt. So shirt needs to be the second word after brand. I hope that that's helpful for you. I would work on your titles. Your shipping price looks fine. Your prices look okay. But the thing is, you really need to focus on the titles first before you start messing with too many things. Like if you mess with the price, how do you know? You don't want to mess with too many things at the same time because you don't know what was the one thing that contributed to getting more sales. So focus on the titles first, and then you can go back and see if that didn't do anything, then you're going to want to work on price. So I've had time and time again people reach out with comments, people leave the comments in the YouTube channel and go, wow, I worked on my titles today and I made 3 sales. There was a Patreon member that had no sales for 8 days, and we helped work on his titles and he made 2 sales by the end of the day. So focusing on titles, I know it sounds like, oh, I'll get to it later. It can be one of the most beneficial things that you can do for your eBay store right now because you already put in the work. Now just go back and fix the titles, restructure them so they can be able to be found in search. Let's get into chat. I hope you are all doing well. Marcus, what's going on? Long time. No see. So Travis says, howdy, how's it going? What's going on? Bass and Coffee. Yo, best eBay insider on YouTube. Oh, you're too nice. I appreciate you guys. You know, I'm still learning. I'm a lifelong learner, you know. Just want to take what I've learned so far, package it up into a small condensed 1-hour video so you guys can take what I've learned and run with it. That is the goal. But I appreciate you being here. Hey, Elio Mora, appreciate you coming in time and time again. Hey, Bo, here to support you. Keep up the great content. Thank you. Miss Lachey, what's going on? Johnny, enjoy your show. Great tips. Appreciate you. Yeah, sorry, guys. If there is internet technical difficulties, don't blame me. Blame Starlink. I have 2 Starlink dishes on this warehouse, and I probably have to get a third. You know, I don't know what is going on, but thank you for bearing with me. Thirsty Program says, what if it's a sports athlete that is bigger than the brand? Yeah, so very good question. Yeah, so I do this with college teams, or football teams. You know, I'll put the football team first. Say it's a Nike pullover sweater, but it's a Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm going to put Pittsburgh Steelers sweater, men's large, and then I'll use Nike as the keyword. So in those instances, very good question. You're going to want to use whatever is going to be getting the most search volume. So if it's a big athlete, you know, or a professional football player, or you know, an whatever it may be, just if the person is bigger than the brand, you're going to want to consider using that at the start of your title because that is what people are searching for specifically. So yeah, you're going to have to figure that out, but that's what I do with football teams, baseball teams. I won't put like Nike sweater, and then I'll use the team as the brand instead of the actual brand of whatever, you know, Russell Athletics or whatever. So yeah, but very good question. Fart Sack Jack, what's going on? I figure putting M or F would offend a whole section of people. I don't know. How many stores you got on your list? Let's see. We got... All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4, and we're going to get through them as fast as we can. And like I said before, if we don't get to them, you'll be added to next week's list. Appreciate you. Sandcastle Daydream. Hey, Bo, I would like a store review, please. The name is Sandcastle Daydream. I started about 4 months ago and aim for 5 listings a day. Some days I fall short. My return rate is currently 6%. Okay, we'll add you to the list. Thank you for coming in. Let's see. Sand Castle Daydream. Very good. Thanks for the updates. I like to know, what your listing goal is. I like to know like your strategy before I go deep diving into your store. Understanding your listing goal is key because if I don't know if you're not listing every day, it's hard for me to determine like how your store is doing. Because if you're not listing every day, it's going to be harder for you to make consistent sales every day. So, just a little point of thought there. But yeah, added you to the list. Bass and Coffee says, which is better? If it's a t-shirt, should I title it Nike shirt men's XL? Very good question. So the first one, Nike shirt men's XL. I don't put Nike t-shirt men's XL. So yeah, the first one, Nike shirt. Oh my God, I'm gonna TOS mine up. All right, toss mine up. Right on. We got you. So let me add you to the list. Reggie Lynn. 73-5. All right, we found you. We got you up. Get ready. All right, so we're going to blast through these store reviews. And so we got Silver Thread next. And if you guys have questions too, drop them in the comments. I'm here for more than just store reviews. I'm here to help you. If you have a question that you had on your mind, shoot it my way. If I don't know it, we'll research it together and we'll learn together. So, Fart Sack Jack says this is gonna burn. No, it's not. I'm here to help you. I'm here to lift you up. I'm here to encourage you guys, not pull you down. So, Silver Thread. Photos look amazing. They look great. Beautiful photos. Clear, beautiful lighting, cropped, centered, awesome. So your store has about 600 items. You've sold 1.2 and 100% feedback. All right, so doing the 1% rule, we would love to see about 5 or 6 sales a day. Let's take a look on how they're doing. So they sold 1 today so far. Yesterday, 1. And then the 12th, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. On the 12th, he had a great day. The 11th, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. 10th, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. That's really encouraging. You're getting about 5, 6, 7 sales a day. On the 9th, you killed it. You had like 10 sales. So keep doing what you're doing. That's the sign of you have 5, 6 sales a day and you have a 570 item store. That's great. That is an awesome sign for you to keep doing what you're doing, but there's always something that we could be doing better to get more sales. So let's take a look at what that can be. Let's open up some shoes, and let's look up a clothing listing. So your photos look beautiful. Great job. Nice soft lighting. The colors look pretty accurate. Like they look like they pop. They're not like bleached out. Beautiful photos. Very good. So photos, you have Vans Pro shoes, men's 8. For title, I would do Vans Pro shoes, men's size 8. I don't put size in my clothing listings, but I do use the word size in my shoe listings. I do that because it is best to differentiate sometimes the product number and model numbers from shoes. So if you put size before 8, that can help stand out a little bit more to the end buyer. Shipping price looks great, and you have 30-day free returns. So very good. Your item specifics look spot on. Might be listing from the phone because I don't see a condition description. It just says pre-owned. Here in your item description, you say Vans. So you have the title copy pasted and pre-owned, good condition, light scratches on suede at toe, otherwise look unworn. So that's a great thing to put into your condition description because over 50% of buyers on eBay are shopping from their phone. So you want to be able to have some kind of condition description, short and sweet, just like what we have here, so buyers can see the condition of your item before they click onto it and then click off. That is one of the worst things you want as a seller is people clicking into your listing and looking at photos and then they come to find out, oh, there's a hole. And I would have known that if I had put that in the condition description because it shows that little blurb under each listing as you're scrolling. So if they're clicking on and clicking off, what do you think that that's telling eBay? It's telling eBay that there's something not converting with this listing. So therefore, as people keep clicking on, clicking off, and so forth, eBay is going to slowly suppress that listing, thinking and knowing that there's something going on that's causing people to click off. So that's why I do that. But otherwise, a great shoe listing there. And let's look at this sweater. So you have Yukon Huskies crew neck. So this is a perfect example of what I was just talking about, was using the college team or football team, basketball team first as the brand. And then you would use the brand of the actual maker of whatever this product is towards the end of the title. So you have Yukon Huskies crew neck sweatshirt. So I would do Yukon Huskies sweater, men's small, and then I would use crew neck and sweatshirt as a keyword. But very good. Photos just look awesome. Great job there. Picture of the tag, picture of the material tag, and a picture of the SKU at the end. Very good. Competitive shipping price, 30-day returns, $19.99. Good price overall. So your item specifics look good. I almost think you could add as many as you can. When it comes to item specifics, you never want to put none. You never want to put NA. You only want to choose the item specifics that are going to accurately describe your item. The more item specifics that you can fill out that are going to be accurately describing your item, the greater opportunity that that item can be found in search. So not all of those item specifics have a lot of search volume in them month over month. You could see each item specific has a search volume metric next to it. So don't be struggling to spend too much time figuring out the collar style or the fabric type or the wash or the theme, because a lot of those little item specifics that we spend a lot of time figuring out have little to none search traffic. Just focus on the main ones, and as you get better at learning your items, you're going to get faster at filling out those item specifics. But you have a good base here. Obviously, you can't list items without filling out the required item specifics. I'm talking about the additional item specifics. So do your best, and you can always go back and a year later and work on some of those oldest listings. You have size small, pit to pit, and length. I don't put that in any of my listings. Pit to pit and length, those are going to be in the photos, and the size small is already in the item specifics. So that you could save a lot of time, but not having to put that little section there. Pre-owned condition, light wear. I don't really Sorry, I'm back. You're going to want to put things like pilling, holes, things like that that are going to help you avoid getting an item not as described, because light wear can mean anything. I don't know what that means. What you call light wear could be heavy wear for another person. It's very subjective. So that is known to kind of put you in a position of where a buyer could, file an INAD, and that's something you want to be as descriptive as possible when listing your items. But good baseline. I really like your store. You are setting yourself up for success. I don't know what your listing habit looks like, but you do have a great foundation here to continue to build this store up. I would work on some of the titles, some of your clothing titles, and then start with your oldest first. That's really going to be helpful for you. Getting back into the chat, Johnny says, is it better to donate bad buys with low sell-through rate and not in demand, or reduce the price? So everyone has their own kind of business model, and I always suggest, if you're just starting out, less than 1,000 items, to not really put items in your store with less than 50% sell-through rate. You really want to be able to put those high sell-through rate items in your store right at the beginning, because you are looking to get back that money to go continue to grow your store. So if you're putting in slower selling items in your store and you're just starting out, you're going to require a lot more space. So I do not suggest picking up those slow sell-through rate items. Though, if you do have the space and you do have thousands of items Thank you for bearing with me. But yeah, so you're going to want to be able to just really avoid those items. I don't know where you're at in your reseller life, but try to avoid them at all costs. But as you grow and list more items every day, you're going to need to have a cutoff point. You got to have some standards in your business, and you need to figure out what type. Am I okay with picking up items today that won't sell for a year? You got to make that decision for yourself and your business. Elio says, question, do you have slow days in a row after selling the same amount you list for a while? Could that be because eBay is doing updates and server issues? So I don't really count my metrics day by day. I just go month over month. But yeah, this last month I've had days where it was the worst day in the last 90 days, followed by the best day in the last 90 days. So a great time to be alive, right? But also eBay can give you a heart attack. Don't focus on the day to day. Month over month, we're trending between $14,000 and $15,000 in sales every month since January this year. So they've been pretty steady, selling between 650 and 750 items every month. And it's what a blessing, right? It is, I don't stress out about, if I only get 17 sales in one day, or if I get 2 days in a row, 15 sales in one day, in 2 days. So it's not a big worry for me. I don't worry about that. And I just look month over month. If you ever want a refreshing outlook on your reselling business, look at your traffic tab, look at your sales tab month over month. And if you are growing, that should be reassuring to you as a reseller that you're doing the right things. Julie says, just got here. We here. We're doing store reviews. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section. We will get to them. Going back to one of the things that really made the difference in my resale business was learning about the items that I was selling, which is why I developed the eBay item specifics guide for clothing. You can find it in the comment section down below or linked in the description. And you're looking to get into reselling clothing, because there And by doing that research, you're able to have this guide, learn about the items that you're selling, and being able to have a bit of a competitive advantage over the people that are not willing to learn. They're not willing to put in the time to do the research. So you can find the guide down below, and I think it's going to be really helpful for you as you continue on your reseller journey. And if you have listers or VAs that are outsourced, this is going to be helpful for them as well, so they can continue to develop the correct, accurate keywords for your items to be able to sell. So you can also find the hardcover on Amazon, and that can be helpful for some people because they like to have the hard copy. So if you want a hard copy, that's available as well. Turnaround time on that is 3 to 5 business days. So you can check it out. Really helps support the channel. And that's something that was an eye-opener for me. And it took me 2.5 years of going to Google, typing in what is the definition for this? What is that? The definition for that. So I was just tired of having to look for all of this information in different places, and I wanted to curate it all and have it in one easy to read book. So I hope that will be helpful for you guys. Getting into the next store is The Goods. They were part of last week's live stream, and we're getting into it right now. And I'll say right now, you have quite a nice minimalistic branding going on. I like it. I like your photos. They look good. They look clear. 759 items. You've sold 2.1 thousand. Let's get into your sell-through rate. So it'd be nice to see 7 sales a day. Today you sold 1, 2. You sold 1, 2, 3, 4 yesterday. One on the 12th. And a good amount on the 11th. 10 on the 11th. Wow, very good. So the 11th and the 10th, you had great days. On the 9th, you had a pretty good day. On the 8th, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. on the 7th. Pretty good. Pretty good. This should be. You should have an optimistic outlook. And the brands that you're selling are pretty much identical to what I pick up. Very good. So what does this tell us as resellers, right? That we're doing good titles and that we're pricing them correctly. But let's see what we could be working on to get more optimized. So 759 items, that is a nice store. Let's see. So FootJoy sweater and this polo shirt. Let's take a look. So FootJoy sweater, adult large, gray, black, golf, quarter zip, mock neck, casual. Okay. Good photo. I like it. I would do FootJoy sweater men's. I understand putting adult in there makes sense. Could be unisex. It could be for men's or women's. To avoid buyer confusion, I just put whatever category you listed it in. So you listed it in the men's sweaters, so I would put men's large, but the keywords look good. I know you used men's as a keyword. You can either swap that out, put men's by sweater, and then put adult behind casual. Photos look great. Clear, measurements, pointing out the flaws, very good. If there is flaws, you're going to want to try to get those flaws put into your condition description so you can avoid buyers clicking on your listing and clicking off. And, they'll click into your listing and they go, oh, it has a spot, and then they'll click off when they could have just read that in the condition description. Item specifics look really, really well filled out. Good job taking the time to do that. Inspection notes, you have pre-owned. Has a few blemishes. Please see photos for reference. Yeah, so that's decent. I would just copy paste that into your condition description, call it good. Few blemishes. That is kind of like an open. You don't know, well, what is it? If it's a spot or a tear or a hole or stain, you're going to want to be a little bit more specific, but that will be fine. Just to help confirm to the buyer. Remember, we want to be as accurate as possible in describing our items. Polo Ralph Lauren shirt, you have it pretty good. I would do Ralph Lauren shirt, men's extra large. And then after extra large, I would use the keyword polo. But very good. Photos look pretty good. You got your measurements, $19.95. That's a pretty reasonable price for an XL. $6.25 shipping and good item specifics. So, yeah, just a few tweaks into your titles. Let's look at more of your store real quick, just to see how some of the titles are. You got new with tags, Old Navy. So usually I would put new with tags at the end and leave brand first. So Old Navy swim trunks, adult, large, floral, and I'd put new with tags at the end. And I actually would put Old Navy shorts, and I would use swim trunks as a keyword. You have vintage Wrangler pants, adult 4430. That's a great title. You have 511 tactical shirt, adult XL. That's a great title. Very good. There's only a few titles where I would tweak, but you got vintage. Well, you got Under Armour sweater, adult large, Orvis shirt, adult extra large. So, for example, like the polos, I would do Duluth shirt, adult 2XL, and then use polo as a keyword. But other than that, your titles look pretty good. There's always something we can tweak, and I know everyone has a bunch of old listings that they could go back and start optimizing to be found in search. It's always our oldest listings that plain straight up suck, right? If you go back to my oldest listings, I'll even tell you that they are terrible. So they need to be worked on continually to get better, because as you start reselling year over year, month after month, you are gaining more and more knowledge and experience. So you're going to go back and look at your oldest listings and you're going to go, what was I thinking? So go back to your oldest ones, start fixing those. I say to go back to the oldest ones because it is more than likely that eBay is suppressing those oldest ones the most because they've been on the platform the longest. So getting back into it, Elio says, yep, you're so right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. San Marcos, what's going on? Finally made a live stream. Hey, I appreciate you. Donald says, I'm new to selling, been at it for 4 months. One of my biggest problems are shipping costs. My average shipping is roughly 32%. What would you say is a good shipping average? So, eBay fees and shipping for me is usually between 40 and 50% of my total gross. So I don't think that, having a high shipping price, 32% of your total gross, I mean, that's better than me. So you need to realize that shipping is one of the most biggest expenses in your business that you do need to be aware about. You could check how much you make on shipping by going into your sales page and seeing how much people are paying for labels and how much you actually pay for labels. I average between $500 and $1,000 in profit in shipping every month. So I'm not making a killing, but I'm also not losing money. So you got to be aware of your shipping, making sure that you're not paying too much. So go into your sales tab, see how much if you're even profiting off your shipping, and then adjust accordingly. But 32% is not too bad. Good day, Bo. What's going on, Step Mo? Ario says, question, Bo, I have about 200 items I need to list. I think it's smart to spend a day scheduling 20 listings throughout 10 days or just flood my store with inventory. I can get inventory easily too. So very good question. What I would do is I would space it out. Instead of launching all of that at once and going dark for 10 days, it's going to be far more efficient and positive for you to be consistent every day during those 10 days than just set out a bunch of items on day one. So you're going to want to be able to do that to be able to engage with the algorithm and show your consistency in your listing habit. So I would highly encourage you to do the 20 a day, schedule those listings out. And as you schedule those out, start working on the listings for the following weeks now so you can continue to build up that draft bank. But Tony Smith says, thank you, implementing this information today. Appreciate you. Fartsack Jack, been doing back end work on listings daily. Yeah. I encourage everybody to just go in and pick a few listings, your oldest ones, years ago, and just start taking a look. What can I do? Maybe it's as simple as you listed in the wrong category or you put the wrong item specific. It can be just one of those things that makes the difference from your item never selling to getting that sale. So double check item specifics. Double check the category in which those items are listed. Adriel says, thanks for reviewing the store, Bo. We are the goods. We are going back and forth on whether or not to have adult in the title. Yeah, you can have adult in the title. I think that having the actual gender as like the brand item gender would be the third word. Having either male or female, women's, men's, you're obviously going to want to put that as close to the beginning of the title as possible. So brand, item, gender. And you can always use adult towards the end. So, but great store. I mean, I like it. And you're doing great. Your sell-through rate is strong. You have a really nice foundation to build upon. What does your listing habit look like? How many are you listing every day? But great sell-through. Fartsack Jack says, changing prices, updating titles, shipping prices, whatever. Very good. Yep. Donald says, wow. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Donald. San Marcos says, my store is San Marcos original, right? Yeah, no, that's great. Let's see. San Marcos. Gotcha. So, we gotcha. Very good. Aria says, thanks. Good information as always. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for just one person to take what we're teaching on this channel and implementing in your business. Because not everything I do in my business is going to apply to your business. So if there are a few takeaways that you can take from what I'm doing and apply it to your business, that is fulfilling for me. Not saying that I don't make mistakes. I make mistakes every day, but I learn from those mistakes. I try to kind of give a little bit of backstory of what I was thinking behind that, and hopefully you guys can learn from that as well. So thank you. That is awesome. Great news. Adriel says, we list 7 a day. Very good. I mean, you list in 7 a day and you're selling 7 a day. I always like to say once your sell-through rate, the items you're selling every day reaches the amount of what you're listing every day, the reseller nirvana, so to speak, that is a sign to you that, hey, eBay's ready. eBay's ready for you to start listing more because they're telling you, hey, we're sending you all this traffic and we're sending you quality buyers that are converting. And if you're getting 7 sales a day, then that's a good indication for, hey, when are you ready to make that next jump? And when I'm talking next jump, you don't need to go from 7 to 20. You can go from 7 to 10. Don't put yourself in a position that it's going to cause you to be a bad manager, because whatever you mismanage, you will lose. You need to make sure that whatever listing goal that you're continuing to increase is not too much for you. Many times people increase it too much and they need to go back to where they were because it was too much of a hassle, too stressful, too hard to find that many items. So, very good store. Keep building it up, and happy to answer any questions as you continue to grow. So, the next one we have here is Fortune Thread. 400 items. You've sold 506. Great photos. Great brands. Prana, you got No Fear, you got Rhone, Patagonia, O'Neill. Good stuff. So let's take a look at your sell-through rate. Let's just look at your sell-through rate as a whole over the last 90 days. You have 417 items and you've sold 290. So you've literally almost sold 70, 80% of your store in the last 90 days. If you didn't list anything in the next 90 days, in 6 months, you will have nothing in your store. You will be out of business, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So you need to keep listing, but great sell-through rate. So that's just a good sneak peek. Now let's take a look at some of your titles of your newest listings. So you got Nike jacket, men's medium blue, very good. You got Abercrombie and Fitch shirt, men's large, beautiful. J. Crew shirt, men's large. Life is Good sweatshirt, women's large, awesome. Nike Pro sweatshirt, women's medium, beautiful. This is a great example for everyone to look at how they're doing their titles and basically do the exact same thing. Brand, item, gender, size, beautiful. There's a reason why they're selling 300 items with only a 400 item store. That is awesome. I love seeing people dump on eBay because think about what we talked about earlier. If you're dominating now, and I talk about dominating, having a 100% sell-through rate on the daily or having a 70% sell-through rate in your store in the last 90 days, think about where you're going to be come 2027. At this current pace, you're going to be able to capitalize on what you're doing now to be able to have more of the market share as more and more people look to buy online. Your photos look fantastic, your prices look good, and I really like your condition description. You put some pilling and wrinkles throughout the item, no visible holes or stains. Please see images for approximate measurements. Excellent. Great condition description, good shipping price, and 30-day free returns. Awesome. I think your item specifics look great. You may want to consider taking everything that's in your item description and creating it into an easier to read text. So putting some bullet points, making some text bold, easy to read is really going to be helpful, but not saying this is hard to read. It's just you want to make things easy on the buyers that nowadays. So, because when they see this, they're typically not going to read it. Good pre-owned condition. Please refer to pictures for condition. And like I said before, you can take all of this and make a template for yourself and never have to type that out ever again. But great job. I think your store is doing great. Continue to list items, quality items. We're back. All right, so Julie says, the first video I watched, I learned so much from you and changed most of my titles and had my best day ever. So new to this. Thank you. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. That's awesome. My mission for this channel is to help grow your business. I'm here to just help see the behind the scenes of what we got going on here and taking some of those bits of information so you can apply it to your business so you can be a six-figure seller as well. It is so possible. I mean, you've seen it. If you go back and watch the beginning of the video, this market is growing. It's not declining, The secondhand market is not in decline. There is no recession or depression when it comes to the resale of secondhand goods. You see a tremendous increase. So continue to build a business now so you can capitalize on what's to come. San Marcos says, I just bought a pallet of 2,200 hats. Nice. So my listing per day varies as I'm trying to work through listing them all. Yeah, very good. Love bulk buys. That's where you can really transform your business if you're set up to handle and manage that amount. My business changed and transformed when that happened. When I started buying in bulk and doing other things, doing other sourcing methods that other people were not doing. So, getting back into the last store, and whoever stores after this, we will save you for the next week, and we'll review your store as well. But getting into this last one, you love my deals. You got 35,000 items sold. You have 5,100 items in your store. This isn't your first rodeo. You are an everything store. You do use stock photos, which I try not to use because of possibility of getting a Vero. But let's look at your store as a whole. 5,100 items. We would love to sell 51 items a day, but let's see. So 5,100 items. Let's look at what you've sold in the last 90 days. So 1,100 plus. So that's what it's giving us. But so since that's not accurate, let's just look at what you've been selling every day. So you got 1, 2 on the 14th, which is today. So yesterday you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 sales yesterday, on the 13th. That's okay. You would obviously like to see, a bit more than that. When it comes to being an everything seller, you're selling everything. So the search volume and the traffic in some of these categories can be seasonal. It could fluctuate. So that's where it's kind of be hard to gauge. When you're selling everything, it's harder to determine like the health of your store because 5,100 items, but you're selling a bunch of different things. So you're going to really need to focus on checking the comps for every single item that you're listing to make sure that you're pricing it correctly. And that's the reason why everything stores can be a little difficult, because you literally need to learn the market for everything. Like you need to know what memory foam toppers sell for. You need to know what rollerblades sell for. So you got to do a lot more back end research. So just making that you can price your items competitively, because you may have the best items, but if they're priced incorrectly, no one's ever going to buy them. You need to know what the market is willing to pay for your items before you price them. If you don't do that, you'll be listing great items, but they'll never sell because they're priced out of market. So taking a look at some of your photos, some of the photos that you did yourself look great. The stock photos, I personally wouldn't do just because it opens up the chance of getting a Vero. Let's look at some of these. I mean, you're doing great in bedding. You have the plug on bedding, that's for sure. Photos, definitely would add in more than one photo. That's something you can do right now. Start adding more photos to your listings, because having just one is really hard for the buyer to know, like, what size is this? Where's the measurements? Where's the material tag? Little things like that the buyer would want to see. You have free shipping, which might work for you. So you got some features here, content, size, very good. I mean, that's good to have. But really try focusing on taking more photos, because, you want to be able to have just more, we focus on accurately describing our items. So if you can take, you got 2 photos here, take 4, take more photos. So it's going to help you rank your listing a little bit higher than the people who are just taking 1 photo, who are just taking 2 photos. And I understand you can only take so many photos of a product, right? Just try to have as many as you can, but don't necessarily spam with photos. But if it's helpful, then it's helpful. Like the UPC, the material, This is better. You have 4 photos, and the photos look clear. Like if you're taking these photos, they look good. Just try adding a bit more. You got free shipping and 30-day returns. Awesome, and the pricing looks pretty good for that. And you got your little item description there. So I would focus on more photos. I would focus on really researching the price before you list these items because, you know, you have 5,100 items, you want to be selling at least 15 to 25 a day before you continue to grow your store, adding on more listings, increasing your listing goal. I always like to add as many words as I can in my title because I see these keywords as fingers pointing to my item. So the more points that I have going to my item, the greater chance it has to be found in search. So that's why I like to fill out my titles completely. You have 80 characters to use, so try to use them all as effectively as possible so you can just rank higher than the people who are not using all 80 characters correctly, let's just say. But some of the titles look great. But yeah, a little bit more back-end research on some of the items that you're selling. And then beefing out these titles a little bit more with correct keywords that are going to help for you. But you got free shipping. Also, another thing is free shipping is great. But two, if people want to return them, you can't withhold shipping if there's like a false INAD or something, people can take advantage of you when you offer free shipping and they know that they get to keep the item, and you can't, do anything about it. You can't refund you can't withhold the original shipping. So, but for some categories that makes sense because if other people are selling with that item free shipping, then you're going to want to compete as well. Either you're going to need to drop the original price and offer plus shipping of some sort, or I don't know if you're overpricing the market to compensate for that free shipping. I know a lot of people do that, and I don't know how that strategy would really work because the market is the market, right? And people are only willing to spend what the market is telling them. So if you're overpricing the market to compensate for the free shipping, you might be pricing out of market. So, yeah, that's kind of a tricky one there with free shipping with hard goods. So just make sure what are your competitors are doing, making sure, spying on what they're doing from there. Are all people offering free shipping that are selling, sheets and bedding and all that? If they're not, then you're going to want to lower your buy it now price and charge for shipping. Also, too, I'm looking at your store here. Offer best offer. We're alive today. We're ready to wheel and deal today. You gotta have best offer turned on everything. In my opinion, I think it's the best way to have more sales. If you have best offer turned off, then it's hard for you to get more sales because the buyers can't make any offer to you. So I encourage people to not be attached with their items, have best offer turned on. eBay gives us that tool for a reason to be able to make more sales. So great store, a few things you could work on, but that's like all of us. We could all be working on something to get more sales. So, Adriel, you say, Bo, I'm confused about the amount of listings eBay gives for no insertion fees depending on store subscription. Does that amount reset every month? Yes, it does. But the amount that you have in your store also gets relisted every month. So that's the point that you need to make of if you have 1,500 free listings, then but you have 1,500 items in your store, then those 1,500 free listings every month will be used up by the items that you have in your store. So you need to make sure when you are planning to upgrade to the next store subscription level, you got to figure out, am I willing to pay 30 cents for each item? Is that going to cost less per month than upgrading to the next store level? So you got to do the math. Make sure that it works for you because there are at times where it makes sense to just pay that extra 30 cents insertion fee before you upgrade to that store subscription level. So just keep in mind that all the items in your store get relisted every month. I know it can be confusing for a lot of people, but that is just how I went about it and how I determined whether I needed to upgrade my store subscription or stay at the current level. So do the math and figure out if it is correct for you and what you want to do. If you guys are needing a little bit more guidance and just some accountability on where you're at in your reseller life, you could check linked in the description down below where Marcus Dixon and I, Dixon's Pickens, are offering a mentorship. We have 32 people in there growing their stores on the daily, implementing the same tips and strategies that we're using every day on our YouTube channel. You can get access to a reseller spreadsheet and an instant store review as well. So if we don't get to your store review every week, you can join. There's a 7-day free trial where we will review your store. You will have access to the spreadsheet. And if you still don't like what's going on, you can cancel. No hard feelings. The community is built on Discord, and not a lot of people are familiar with Discord, so it's not for everyone. But if you are getting value and you do like the community, it's just $1 a day after that. So to be able to capitalize on what's to come and how this market is going to grow, it's really important to master and gain knowledge about the items that you're wanting to sell. So really putting yourself ahead and adding value to your mind and to how you're putting your systems in place in your business is going to set you up for success come 2027. So if not sooner, right? But we're doing it now so we could take advantage of what's to come. I hope you all have a blessed weekend and rest of the week. If you're catching this on the replay and you want a store review, just drop it in the comment section and I will add you to the list. I hope you all have the rest of the day and take care.